Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Channel. It's the In Wheel Time car talk show we have scheduled to come up. Omar O'Day going to talk about the Ford GTD 800 horsepower, $300,000 Mustang.
Which is just purely a race car sold by Ford, but built by Multimatic. And Multimatic and Ford have had a long relationship in sports car racing.
Well, I was going to say, it's a race car with a license plate on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, in other words, they've got they don't even have them anymore, but 5-mile-an-hour crash bumpers and all the safety stuff that they just left in the car and basically resuspended it. And they put
blinkers on it.
Put blinkers on it, and a great big horsepower motor in it, 800 horsepower.
Supercharged 5.2-liter V8.
But we knew that they could do it. Why have they waited so long to put it in a Mustang? I mean, no offense, but Stellantis, Dodge, Jeep, they've been doing the 800 horsepower for what, 5 years now?
Yeah. Yep.
What's the mileage on that?
Yeah, none.
What does it matter?
3 gas stations to the mile.
Yeah, pretty much. Does it burn pump gas?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It does? Well, you would think it would, but I guess that you would get some extra boost.
I guess you get the most power out of it if you ran some C16.
C16?
Some avgas.
Race gas.
But wouldn't that mess up your catalytic converter? You imagine catalytic converter.
Oh, you want a catalytic converter too? Oh, okay.
That's extra.
It's catalytic converter delete.
I got one of those.
Yeah,
Shh, don't brag about it on the air.
No, we know that you cut the mufflers off of it.
Yeah, everything else is the same.
Oh, so it's legal. It's legal.
Got glass packs on his van.
Glass packs. I guess do they still make glass packs?
Oh yeah.
Thrush.
We did cherry bombs
last week. Yeah.
It's still for sale. Still for sale.
Really? Well, you buy them online, I guess. RockAuto or somebody, or
probably
Summit.
J.C. Whitney.
J.C. Whitney. You know, I heard that they're still in business. A mail order.
Yeah, but I think they're totally online anymore. I don't think they ship out the catalogs the way they used to.
Darn it. And I've got one of those classic catalogs,
Oh,
too.
those used to be great. Big, thick ones.
It's kind of like...
But Summit and Jag still mail out a catalog. So kind of, in my opinion, kind of taking over for J.C. Whitney without the curb feelers.
Well, that's no fun. We got to have curb feelers.
When I worked for Amato, they had a catalog for all the product, and it was 0 to 300 and 1,300 pages.
Nice.
That was cool.
That is cool, yeah. Joe Amato.
Yeah.
What, is he retired now? He sold a Keystone.
Yeah. Him and his brother. It was a family business, really. Him and his brothers.
And he did very well with Valvoline.
Mm-hmm. Very well. I've got some of his memorable cars, the models and things, autographed. Jason has them. He's got them all put away and things. But his corporate office was an old school.
We're talking about super drag racer.
Top fuel driver.
Top fuel, Joe Amato, who was my favorite guy.
Yep.
And I had the chance when I was doing the drag racing tour several years ago to sit down and have lunch with him. Mm-hmm. What the nicest guy you would ever want to meet. Next door neighbor kind of guy. Mm-hmm. No airs about him whatsoever. Yep. Just a super nice guy.
Yep.
Wonderful guy. And who would know that he was a multi-millionaire?
When I worked for him and they would come to Houston, I would wear my logoed shirt. Right. Not have a ticket. When they load in on Thursdays, I would just go and I need to see Joey. Sure, right back there. I go in. I spent the whole weekend without a ticket.
Yeah,
HRA at the drag strip. It was fun. Good times.
And there are several that are drivers that are that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about. I'll tell you somebody that would welcome you in. You know who it is. Antron.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Antron's like that. Yeah, man, come on in.
You can't get away from Erica winning last weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good job.
And she's qualified third in Brainerd, and
this weekend.
And this is the first weekend the Pro Stocks have been in Brainerd since 2019. So
are they running bikes this weekend too?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And then Bob Tasca, I had a chance to meet Bob Tasca 2 years ago in Phoenix at a BG event.
Bob Tasca, we would be in NHRA Suites in Houston, And Bob Tasca's mom was in the suite with us at the time, and I was getting autographs on a hat. And it was raining a little bit, and Bob's was the only one I didn't have. His mother took my hat, went down to the pits, got it signed, and brought it back to me.
He is truly the nicest guy.
Yeah,
but
that's how
he
cool
is. His family owns just a fleet of Ford dealerships up in the Northeast area.
Yep.
And, we had him at BG talking about his car business. And, as intense as he has to be a nitro funny car driver, he knew his service department operations inside and out. Everybody's firing off questions to him, and he basically knew the answer or knew how to get the answer to everything he was asked. I was very, very impressed.
Doesn't he have the largest performance Ford wholesale
parts operation?
Sort of like Classic and the GM side.
Yeah, well, I would say more like Scoggin and Dickey.
Okay.
Out of Lubbock on the GM side. Tasca Ford Parts is
like number
worldwide.
One. Oh yeah.
And that's why Ford sponsors them, because that's a company that's got their act together at Tasca.
Oh, very much so. But Bob is just the nicest person to sit and chit-chat with. It's like you said, Amato was kind of like your next-door neighbor. Tasca is the same way.
Yep. All right. So we got off on that because we started talking about the Ford GTD 800 horsepower Mustang for $300,000. I like it. And so does Omar O'Day. Omar, good morning to you, sir. Oh, no, you know what?
Tillman.
That's David Tillman. Sorry. David, you stay with us, my friend. We'll be with you in a minute. And you have to unmute your computer.
No.
Yeah, he's on early, I think. Isn't he?
No, he went away.
He went away. Oh, he's just, okay.
He'll be back.
He's testing.
He was
Omar
testing.
O'Day. Well, at any rate, so we'll just... This is what live does.
Multimatic has run Ford sports car racing for a number of years, and
where is Multimatic? I've never heard of this. Are they in Detroit?
Yeah, but I'm going to say it's kind of like not necessarily a Carroll Shelby operation, but I would say a bit of a Carroll Shelby operation or a Celine operation, except Multimatic does more production work, and they run the race cars for Ford. They handle all of that. They build them and stuff. Now, Multimatic also does a lot of carbon fiber work, which this new Ford Mustang GTD has got a lot of carbon fiber in it, which gives Ford the opportunity to change the shape of the vehicle and not increase the weight. So when you look at the new Ford Mustang GTD, it's got some beautiful lines. It's a gorgeous looking car, but they're using Multimatic's abilities of building with carbon fiber to very much change the shape of the car and lower its weight, and then throw an 800 horsepower supercharged 5.2 liter V8 in it. It's like, oh my God. Hold my beer. Here I go.
What I would find fascinating is to sit in on the meeting saying, okay, this is what we want to accomplish. Either way, either from Ford to them or Multimatic to Ford. This is what we want to do. So how do we get to the point where we can get that? And going through all the steps with two major corporations, Multimatic clearly is a major corporation, and Ford is a global corporation. So you got to have guys that sit down, gals too, sit down with each other and go, well, that sounds like an interesting project. So let's bring in, person A, B, C, and D, because they are in that area, and then somebody else, and you sit in a big conference room, and you just kind of hash this whole stuff out. Wouldn't you like to be the fly on the wall in that meeting? Oh, golly. Anyway, I was looking at the Multimatic website here, and pretty sophisticated stuff. Very high tech, kind of like what you do, David.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
what's the D in GTD? What's that mean?
Duh.
It's the category of car. So I don't know exactly what D stands for, but it's the category of car.
And the GT racing?
GTP, P stands for prototype.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have. They used to have GTS, and that's long gone. But GTD,
that's many years ago.
And in GTD, there's a pro category and an amateur category, and they basically race the same car. It's just the level of driver.
Is that
the
SCCA
difference.
stuff?
No, that's IMSA. IMSA, which is where Jeffrey's Cadillac prototypes race. It's also the category that the Corvette C6 or C8 races in is GTD Pro. And I know Corvette has talked about producing a GT4 car. It's also the level that Alec Udell
and Mercedes, and then there's Aston Martin in that group. Yep.
And well, I think Alec's been running a Porsche the last couple of years. Yeah. But, GT4 is the build of the car that runs in GTD. So I'm assuming this GTD Ford Mustang is basically going to be race ready to go sports car racing somewhere. But at 800 horsepower, they're going to have to detune it to run it in IMSA. Even the Corvette, they have to detune the Corvette to run it in IMSA.
And I assume the same thing with the Cadillac.
Right.
Yeah.
They detune it. How do you detune a car that easily turns out 800 horsepower?
Compression and fuel. Maybe put a throttle body choker on it.
A little bit of timing, maybe.
Yeah. Putting air restrictors on it. So this is in IMSA. They have something called BOP, balance of power. So they'll add weight to a vehicle. They'll change its fuel capacity, so it has to stop more often for pit stops to kind of try and find that balance of performance.
What a tech nightmare.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's
the hood and you go, okay.
It's a political tech nightmare, too, because, 1 week, the BMWs dominate, so they get some penalties at the BOP. And the next week, the Corvette wins everything, and they get penalties on the BOP. And all the while, Porsche and everybody else are yapping about, they have this unfair advantage, they have this unfair advantage. So they're all busy lobbying the governing body to add more penalties to their competitors.
Why can't we go back to the old NASCAR style rules?
Race what you brung?
Yep. Throw a great big V8 in it and keep the bumpers on it. Take the windows out. Put some half-baked roll bar in
leather
it.
helmets. Yeah.
Well, maybe not that far back.
Leather helmets.
But you're
Jeff,
talking
you
about
have a leather helmet.
I know. You're talking about the crybaby aspect of it. They did this, they did that. That started in F1.
Oh, very much so, very much so. Well, it started, I'm going to say, back in SCCA Trans Am back in the 70s, because there was these, certain years, you can look back at Trans Am, and certain years, some cars just physically dominated the Trans Am series. You got to remember Mark Donohue and Penske in that blue Camaro in '69. Totally dominated. Well, they got some BOP penalties, and the next year it was George Fulmer and the Ford Mustang absolutely dominated for a couple of years, and then Penske came back with the AMC Javelin.
I was going to say the AMC Javelin, that they switched over to that. Yeah.
So, and through the years you could see who had the advantage on balance of power or balance of performance.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that's attractive about sportsman racing in NHRA. We're going to talk to Jerry Emmons about that.
World champion,
but in his division. And they actually race in several because of the different cars that they have, because they bring a fleet to the drag strip.
Oh, yeah.
They bring an 18-wheeler full of vehicles.
Well, it's not quite an 18-wheeler, but might as well be. Stan is in that. Stan Holt with Lupe Tortilla.
Dale.
Dale Hultquist. And they run in a stock category. But there's so many different levels of the stock category, I can't keep up with it all.
That Dale doesn't want to talk about.
No. and you can't make him talk about it.
Because it is stock.
Yeah, it's stock, baby. That's what it is.
And again, some of that is manufacturers want to build cars to go racing. The win on Sunday, sell on Monday philosophy is still there, which is where the Ford GTD Mustang GTD comes from. Is win on Sunday, sell on Monday, and that car
do you
is
think
available.
that still holds true in NASCAR?
No, because NASCAR they're all templated cars. If you took all the paint off of them, the body's the same on all those cars.
But no, it's only the rear window, the deck lid, and
the bumper
and the roof.
To make the bumper look like it's But at any rate, it's Camry, it's Mustang, it's Camaro. And of course, there used to be a lot more than that.
And if you go to Xfinity, it's Supra.
But what I'm saying is that you can't tell me that they don't sell cars of that brand because
NASCAR.
They do because of NASCAR, I think.
Well, I think there's a brand loyalty.
I was behind a Camry yesterday. It was a white Camry, and it had black accents on it, and it had really nice-looking factory wheels. The whole thing was factory. It looked really good, especially for a street car.
Well, that's the XL, whatever
it is. It's a Camry. And I'm going,
TRD,
Camry?
Yeah.
It's a Camry.
I have a neighbor with a Hyundai, and it looks like a little sports car. It really does.
Yeah.
Well, what you're driving right now, your RAV4 has got all that black trim on it and stuff. It actually looks very good.
It does. It's truly amazing what they can do with a little trim here and there and paint here and there and wheels, and it looks good. And remember, that's the kind of stuff.
Like makeup on a woman.
Is it?
A little bit here, a little bit there. Makes
it doesn't have to be just on a woman.
In your case, it'd be a lot here and a lot there.
You got to put it on with a roller.
There's a dip factor involved.
A dip.
You do dip.
You do dip. I do dip. What is that? What is that comedian's name that does that? I don't know if any of our viewers have ever watched that. Absolutely hysterical. And she's doing this. It's a stand-up lady, and she's up there and
Chow, Chow or something.
I don't know, but she's talking about going to the nail salon. Now, I haven't been to the nail salon in a number of weeks, but
I was 3 weeks ago.
I know you were because he posted pictures of his toes and getting.
No, he went to the Steel Distribution Center for chainsaws.
She had the Dremel tool out cleaning up my toenails. It's the weirdest thing. She gets this little.
It's the weirdest thing to see you in a chair having your dang toenails done. We're gonna turn this away from the car
We're gonna do
show.
a live remote from my pedicure.
Oh, God.
Do you have a lady that does it?
Oh yeah,
one particular lady.
Yeah, she's done it for years.
He's got a team of hazmat people that
charges she charges $150.
They show up in the COVID outfits. Because I'll tell you, when she gets that Dremel tool out, that is the oddest aroma.
and then when they do it, you hear this. The compressor's going.
We're off the air here because your sign fell down.
Oh, we're not off the air. we're laying down in laughter. There you go.
No.
See, we're still on the air.
Oh, Lord.
So this is considered fill time, right?
This is well, we didn't plan it this way, but it just turned into this. But anyway, the lady, the stand-up comedian, does this thing about going to the nail. You want dip? You do dip? Oh, dip. It's very good for you. And now there are these little girls that are actually, they're very good, and they put themselves on camera mouthing the words that the stand-up comedian has. It looks like they're talking. This whole stand-up routine about going to the nail salon. It's hysterical.
Don, you should get a pedicure.
I think I have enough time on my hands that I don't want
it's
to get
not
a
your
pedicure.
hands, they do. It's
I don't
a manicure.
want. No, I don't want
it's
anybody.
A pedicure. It's a time on your toes.
I don't want anybody touching my feet.
Twinkle toes.
Don't mess with it. Don't.
First time they do it, you'll want to go back.
No, I don't want to.
Every 30 minutes.
Well, for Conrad, because they grow so fast. Yeah. No, I just can't.
Look like eagle talons by the time I get back.
Mike, when you
eagle talons.
That's why she's got to get the Dremel tool.
I have a niece that has this thing for the grossed out feet.
Oh, no.
And so there was
Is
one.
this the lifestyle section of our show?
This is the lifestyle section. And it was absolutely hysterical. And these toenails, they look like talons. And so whenever I run across something like that, I always forward it to her. She goes, yuck, that's disgusting. Yeah, it is. So I sent it to you. Wow. Some recalls to tell you about, Lord, as we change direction here. The Jeep Grand Wagoneer and Wagoneer for 22 and 23 being recalled. B pillar trim may interfere with the airbag. Boom. Unsecured transmission may cause a rollaway in the Ford Bronco for 2023.
This is like the fourth recall Ford has had for rollaway transmission.
But
they need to fire that engineer that's designing those systems because he has failed multiple times.
He's probably no longer with them and hasn't been for several years.
No, he's probably gone to General Motors by now.
I ran a CNC machine for General Motors. We built the low and reverse clutch housings for the Chevy Citation. back in 1974.
So we can blame you?
You bet.
Steering gear shaft may fracture on the Chevy Silverado 2500, 3500, and the Sierra 2500.
That's a scary thought.
It is. Oh, I can't steer. Instrument panel harness damage, Subaru Crosstrek and Impreza for 2024. Inaccurate pedestrian warning sounds. So instead of going, it goes, thunk. And that would be on the Mazda CX-90 for 24.
Nice. We're reviewing one next week.
Are we?
No, I don't know.
No, we can't hear it.
Grandma got run over by a Miata.
Improperly secured 12-volt ground connection. Can you say thermal event there? Mm-hmm. Mercedes Maybach.
Oh.
The S580 and the 680 for 22 and 23. You need to go and
those are all insurance claims.
Big time.
My $1 million Maybach burned to the ground, so I don't have to make payments anymore.
Roof frame absorbers may detach. Roof frame absorbers on the Mercedes-Benz AMG EQE.
That's the
EQE 350, EQE 500 for the model year 2023. Hyundai Tucson.
Tucson.
Hyundai Tucson. Incorrect information on the label. Some label that's on there. Genesis GV60 front passenger seatbelt may fail. Oh, there
just
goes.
Once.
Just once. High voltage battery may overheat in the Land Rover, Range Rover PHEV for 2020.
S'mores.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or bangers and mash. I guess that's the British one.
Okay.
The head of the United Auto Workers Union on Tuesday asked members to grant him the ability to call a strike, arguing contract talks with the Detroit 3 automakers are moving too slow. UAW has been negotiating with GM, Ford, and Chrysler parents Stellantis for 30 days, and the parties have yet to discuss economic terms, according to Sean Fain, the UAW president, in a Facebook Live webcast. Why would you expose yourself to that? To move forward, Fain argued it was critically important that union locals at the 3 car makers vote to authorize the strike.
Wonder how much he makes. You know, because Mary Barra makes $29 million a year to destroy General Motors. Wonder how much he makes.
I'm sure you could find out. But at any rate, that strike is set to take place on September the 14th. So
that'll go down as a day in infamy.
Because it's not going to be good for anybody in the automotive business. Right. They're asking for double the wages. Double.
Think of what that's going to do to the price of your car.
Ooh. Did you want to say something to me? Okay. I thought you raised your hand.
No,
or
she
something.
came in here to laugh at you, Don, like the rest of us.
And have you heard this? Have you heard this about U.S. Steel?
Mm-mm.
Have you seen this?
Nope.
They're selling U.S. Steel. A bidding war between steelmakers for American manufacturing icon U.S. Steel could have massive implications for the auto industry, especially if Cleveland-Cliffs, a company, wins out. Analyst said. The Ohio company, the largest supplier of automotive steel in the U.S., rattled the manufacturing world last week when it went public with a $7.25 billion offer to acquire U.S. Steel, its longtime rival. U.S. Steel rejected the deal and instead began a review of its strategic options. Such a takeover would give Cleveland-Cliffs a dominance in huge swaths of the domestic market for many automotive steel products. Hello? Antitrust. Yeah. The combined entity would have control of well over 50% of the exposed auto market. Likely drawing the
Talk about the price of your car going up.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine?
Wonder if Drew Carey's involved in that because he thinks Cleveland rocks.
It's not the same. Reuters reported on Wednesday the ArcelorMittal, the world's second largest steelmaker, is also considering making an offer for U.S. Steel, citing people familiar with it.
And they're probably not from the USA.
Oh, you think? I think it's a German company. Yeah. But U.S. Steel, why? Why? Did you not make enough money? You ready to cash out now?
Wasn't that originally started? Was it a Rockefeller back in the day?
Yeah. No, like Rockefeller was oil. Rockefeller was Standard Oil.
And oil and gunpowder.
Steel was somebody else. Yeah.
But it was some big U.S. guy back at the turn of the last century. Yeah. Interesting.
Carnegie.
That's it.
Carnegie did steel.
Wow. That's a huge story that nobody's talking about. And I went, are you kidding me?
Not Dale Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie.
Well, you know how to get to Carnegie Hall. You practice.
Practice.
You know, you have all of these wonderful little things
I know.
that
They just come to me.
Well,
Yeah.
Jeff has all of those dad jokes. He stores them in a dad
In
base.
a dad file. Yeah.
A data base.
And our final story this hour, they say you have to crawl before you walk, but Acura's first step toward its all-electric future is on full sprint. The ZDX, due to arrive on the market in early 2024, stretches 197.7 inches, just shy of the 198 MDX three-row crossover. The ZDX will also come as a 500 horsepower Type S variant with the brand's first hands-free driving technology, standard Google built-in connectivity, an immersive 22-inch high-def digital screen, and Bang & Olufsen premium audio. ZDX Type S will be priced competitively around $70,000.
Well, they're bringing that brand back because they did a ZDX prior to that. It was an SUV with a slant back. But how much fun is a hands-free 500 horsepower car?
SUV.
Yeah, well, give me 500 horsepower. I want to drive it.
Wow, man, I don't know.
The ZDX, the other ZDX had a bit of unusual styling to it. I liked it. I thought it was a cool car, but it was only in production for a couple of years.
500 horsepower, 3 feet off the ground does not seem real safe to me. Going around a corner, that's a rollover waiting to happen right there.
It's a go-kart.
Hey, this is the N-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. That ends it for this first hour. Hour number 2 is coming your way in just a flash. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available on the most popular podcast channels out there in 30-minute episodes. We realize our 3-hour live show can be difficult to catch in its entirety, so now you can listen every day to a convenient, fresh 30-minute episode. Check us out on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, along with a dozen more. In-Wheel Time has the most informative automotive guest interviews and new car reviews, along with popular features including Conrad's Car Clinic and This Week in Auto History, along with automotive news headlines. Our live broadcast airs every Saturday, 8 to 11 Central on InWheelTime.com, the iHeart app, and on YouTube. Be sure to say hello when we're broadcasting from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise Inn, Autorama, and the Houston Auto Show, among others. Now, it's easier than ever to hear about all things automotive all week long. You're invited to join fellow car enthusiasts in becoming part of the ever-growing In-Wheel Time Car Talk family. Don't forget those 30-minute podcast episodes on your favorite podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.